Good afternoon, team. This is Kunal here. We'll be starting the presentation. So, just an introduction about the speakers. We have Chandra Mauleshwaran with us. He is the SVP and Head of Infrastructure at Services at Gauss Technologies. Myself, Kunal Bhatt. I lead the automation practice. And Saurabh Singh, he is the Director and Business Head of the North Business in CMS IT Services. Few housekeeping rules. The webinar is being recorded and we'll be sharing the link with the team across. For any questions, please use the chat to share your questions across, as all participants during the webinar will be in mute mode. We'll open up the session for Q&A post the webinar is over. And if any query that we are not able to respond, we will write back to you with the answer across. Thank you. So coming to the business imperatives, the next normal that we are looking at today as an industry, just to take the thought across, and I want to take the opinions also of the team. You can type your thoughts into the chat window. What are the problems that persistently take your time, take the IT support team's time in the data center services around? Few common answers that we had received was the RCAs. So it's a question to you that do the RCA of your IT outages take enough time, and does that impact your business SLAs? And when that is happening, does still the blame game across of whose fault or whose bucket the problem is keeps on continuing? Is your IT delivery more reactive, and is it aligned towards your business goals, your business KPIs? Do you have the kind of proactiveness that is required in today's world to support your businesses from the IT perspective?
Kunal, hi,
How
can
are
you
you
hear me?
managing? Yes, Saurabh.
Okay, great. Thank you. Keep going.
Sure. Uh, so on the data perspective, is the growth of the data troubling you? Because every application, every thing with the digitalization that we are going towards, we are having a lot of data coming in, and how are we mining the data? What are the complexities that the IT environment faces? Do we have standardization in our environment? With the rapid
So,
growth of technology, yes, or
I just wanted to add to what Kunal said. Uh, the audience are all the IT leadership of large government and PSU organizations. And some of the problems जो हम यहाँ highlight कर रहे हैं, these are things which we believe each of you as leaders are facing every day. So, for example, having a digital transformation initiative and getting, a growth in data, I am sure is something which everybody understands. But how are you translating that data into information? Right, getting an alert from a threshold being violated is a very easy alert. कोई भी tool दे सकता है. But then, what do you do with that you know threshold violation, and what business action you take? Sometimes people will have difficulty making that decision, and that is what we realized when we spoke to the leadership community, both in the enterprise and in the government and PSU vertical. Similarly, RCA, आपका service provider, I'm sure in 2 days time for a P1 or a P2 incident, he will do the RCA. But the sheer pain one goes through as a customer and maybe as a service provider also. क्या ये database का issue था, application layer का issue था, network का issue था, नहीं मेरा तो server ही बैठ गया था, CPU problem था. Sometimes even the smallest of the issue becomes a big thing because nobody wants to take ownership, and they keep saying my part of the estate was working fine, the problem resides somewhere else. So pinpointing the actual issue becomes a problem. And I want to, we don't want it to be just a conversation from our side. I request the attendees to also share with us कि अगर आपने ऐसा कुछ अपने environment में होता देखा है, क्या आप relate कर पा रहे हैं to the stuff which we are talking. We would want you guys to also participate. The lines would be open And Tom, I request you to keep the line open, and when we are talking, then maybe you can mute it back. And effectively, the message on this slide is that एक गलती everybody remembers, but all the 99 right things which you do somewhere in the IT doesn't get remembered. And the user, your CXOs, your chairmans, your GMs, your VPs, etc. will walk away thinking, यार इतना पैसा खर्च किया था, टूल भी लगा लिया, सब कुछ लगा लिया, पर सर्विस तो ऐसी ही है, यूजर्स परेशान रहते हैं, IT पता नहीं क्या कर रहा है. And that sort of waters down the entire effort because of one small little mistake which might have happened. So, any thoughts, any comments, any relation? मतलब क्या, are we talking your language? Is the question I'm asking. Anybody from the audience, if they want to speak. Nobody has anything to say. We will proceed. But really, this is just setting the context. कि हम आपसे आज 40-45 minutes you're giving us your time. What is it that we are achieving? And this context tells you that some of the problems which we highlighted perhaps will get addressed through the solution we are offering to you. Now, what IT risks is your business facing? If you look at this grid, you will realize that there are a lot of frequently occurring problems where the impact is high. Essentially, the top right quadrant, where you will either have an application failure or a virus attack or a cron job failure, that kind of stuff continues to happen. And the endeavor the IT leader is wanting to make is to move from the top right quadrant to the bottom right quadrant. And we have realized, one more click please, that most of these 93% of the failures and the IT outages are actually happening because of either the hardware or the software failure. और उसमें भी हमको ownership define करने में sometimes we take a lot of time, right? So we are trying to propagate a left shift approach, और कोशिश ये रहेगी that there should be minimum such incidences with a minimal impact. So move from the top right to the bottom left quadrant. Go ahead, please. Next slide. Yeah. Now, what we have also seen that historically IT monitoring today has a problem of plenty. अगर आप लेफ्ट साइड पे देखेंगे स्लाइड का, तो we believe that earlier there were very few tools which were not giving many alerts also, and it was sort of a zero situation where the IT DC ops manager will do everything manually, will do the reading of the alerts, will do the correlation himself and try and manage the show. But gradually, as technology progressed, it became a problem of plenty, where command centers are throwing for every single tool or every single cause. It will trigger, I don't know, and Chandra is in his business, it will trigger multiple alerts from more than one devices. And then you have to figure out, ki bhai, where is the needle in the stock of hay? मैं कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन पे एक्ट करूं, कौन सी इंफॉर्मेशन को इग्नोर कर दूं, क्या मैं फॉल्स पॉजिटिव पे अपने सारे एफर्ट्स लगा रहा हूं, और जब रियल प्रॉब्लम आती है तो वो समवेयर इट इज गेटिंग ओवरलुक्ड, एंड देन इट हिट्स माय एनवायरनमेंट एंड आई बिकम द गिनी पिग, एंड आई एम आई हैव टू bow my head and stand in front of the committee and say, यार ये ऐसा क्यों हो गया? So how do we separate the noise and define certain actionable alerts is really the objective we are trying to achieve. और क्या कोई ऐसा टूल है जो मुझे ये सब करने में it helps me achieve this objective is what we are trying to suggest. You wanted to add anything, Chandra?
Yes, you're right, Saurabh. I was just thinking, Saurabh, when you were speaking, one of the CIOs in one of the meetings said that what is that you want from your service provider or from your IT organization, or what is that you would like to have? and he said that I want to sleep peacefully in the night, number one. Number two, me and my team would like to spend the evenings and weekends with their family without any call or disturbance from office. Then, third one, whenever we are going into the meetings for whom we serve, we should go with the confidence and the positive mindset, not with the defensive mindset.
It should be
This is
center
the
line. It's aligned to the left.
sorry. So that I think is what ultimately is required. Now, in order to achieve that, we have done many things. One of the things is that from zero alert to multiple alerts, we have implemented many tools. Then we bought many other analytics tools, but none of them so far has helped the CIOs and IT managers to have a peaceful time in the office or at the home. That is the today's problem. I think you are very right, Saurabh, when you mentioned that.
So I think we have all of us understand the context. Key in IT monitoring, how do we move from the noise and multiple alerts and get to an actionable intelligence, so that I can keep my user, I can keep maximize my uptime, etc. is the objective. We also realize that, and this is again data from live clients, that any kind of outage typically can be categorized into these any of these three buckets. Pareto rule hai, 80%, 80% of the problems typically will follow a rule, and whether it is the change in the IT environment with respect to some configuration changes, or addition or deletion of devices, or some thresholds getting violated on the hardware, some external hack happening, or it's a resource, service provider resource not having the right skill, and he ending up deleting a table because of the whole because of it the whole server comes crashing, etc. Those kind of issues happen, and when they happen, the service provider, the customer, all of us will react to it, right? And what we are saying is कि क्या हम to an extent can we predict, basis the historical data, can we predict certain incidences and try that be a little proactive, take the remedial action before the incident actually hits the floor and all hell breaks loose. So how does this is there a solution to this problem? Is there a as Chandra said, can we make the dream of a CIO come true, that can I have a peaceful sleep in the night? And I can tell you that he's not alone. There are a lot of such CIOs having those nights, because the CEO expectation today, they look at IT as a competitive advantage. They're making investments in the tools and technologies only. Kal, when I'm standing and competing with my competition, I have good analytics. I know exactly what my competition is doing, and all that is coming in from the CIO's office. So that keeps him awake in the night, and we are trying to see how can we be a partner to him in that journey, and help him help him being more proactive. So let's put on our thinking caps and figure out इस proactiveness को implement कैसे करें. So the next slide, and Kunal, I want you to help me here, and walk them through the three ideas you have as to how we can be proactive.
Sure, Saurabh. So as Saurabh said, let's put our thinking caps on and look at the way we are managing our services. What can we improve and how can we look at it? First is, as we say, that lot of systems, lot of complex environments, and we keep on getting alerts from them. How do we restrict our alerts coming from the source systems? How can we ensure that we are catching hold of the right alert and addressing it in the right fashion? So a simple way of how do we try and remove the noise that comes from the events across? How do we have a triage for every alert? Because a alert can get converted into an incident very quickly. So how do we manage that across? And while that everything is happening, a ticket has to be created for every alert that comes in, so that someone has to address it. So how do we do that? and once we are able to achieve something like this, what is the next step that we can focus on? Can we get the AI to resolve our issues? Can we have some intelligence in the system which will help us to do something better? So while we spoke of the tickets for every alerts, can I have an automatic mechanism that I can get the right tickets for the right requirement directly into my ITSM? I don't have to create a ticket manually. Can I acknowledge my alerts that come across and say that yes, this is an alert to be addressed, this is an alert that needs attention, but not an immediate impact on the alert is there? Can we derive pattern-based thresholds? Because we understand at critical hours, peak hours of the day, the start of the day, end of the day activity, there are patterns that are defined how the IT infrastructure is getting consumed. Can we derive this pattern and use the resources, the infrastructure optimally to address those peaks? Can we remove the false positives with help of the CMDB also? Can we look at correlation of the data? Once the pattern is defined, how can we correlate this data? Once the false positives are out, we do a right correlation, we'll be able to figure out the right structure to the data. And with all this in place, can we have a prediction to a high impact event, which will tell me that, okay, there's a potential outage coming into the infrastructure. Kuch galat ho sakta hai. In next 24 hours, something can go wrong. If that is the kind of intelligence the IT gets, just imagine the power that the IT team will carry in its services across. And just to put the last section to this thought, how can I use the intelligent automation? While we speak about automation, how do we make it more intelligent? Can I avoid repeatable tasks? Can I automate the addressing of repeatable tasks? Can I automate the service request coming in and getting them addressed on its own? How do I prevent incidents from coming in? Or how do I prevent incidents from happening? और जब इंसिडेंट नहीं होगा या इंसिडेंट्स कम होंगे, that means better services, better user experience, better system availability. And that is what we all in the IT services are here for. To add to all this, what all processes can we automate using the RPAs, doing a business process automation across? What all can we do across? So, and again, anyone from the audience can give their thoughts onto it. This is the way the market and the industry is working on. And to give you a more insight onto an in-depth insight onto how and what can be automated, how it can be automated, and what can be the benefits that we can take out of the automation, I will invite Chandra to give us some insights on the system across.
Okay, thank you, Kunal. Thanks, Saurabh, for setting the stage. Good afternoon, team. You all know the organizations are moving towards digital transformation, and the applications that are very critical are actually directly contributing to the revenue of the organization. So they become very, very critical, and they can't afford even any outage, whatever small or whatever big it is. So there is a need that applications, particularly that are critical to business, needs to be running uninterrupted with a guaranteed availability and reliability. Now, how can we do that? So few years ago, the applications were not that important. They were all serving internal. Now the applications are actually serving the external users, customers, and there is a need. With the traditional approach of reactive, we will not be able to guarantee the availability and reliability of the systems. Definitely, we need to move to proactive and predictive in nature. That is where the AIOps actually helps in. Saurabh talked about that too many alerts, right? And when too many alerts from too many tools are coming, we really don't know which one to act, which one to drop. And it is impossible for human to look into each alert and then use his judgment to decide and then do that. One is it is time consuming. Second, he will make mistakes. So definitely the AI driven operations will help here. It will have the intelligence to detect the noise. It will have the intelligence to find out which needs to be action, which need not be action, and filter and provide a view of actionable alerts with the definite insights, so that the command center engineer or the level 2, level 3 engineer starts working on it with a good set of information. That is number one. Number two, similarly, again, Saurabh touched upon that. When there is a high impact incident, P1 incident, which has caused that incident? Is it a network or application or database or storage? So traditionally, we pull everyone one by one sequence, and then finally we derive. By the time you would have lost good amount of time. There is definite need to figure out which one has caused the problem when the high impact incident happened, and what corrective action that need to be done. Again here, since the lot of alerts are coming from multiple tools and multiple devices, definitely we need to correlate them. Saurabh talked about that when a switch goes down, there will be one alert for switch and maybe 24 more alerts from the servers which are connected to that switch. So we need to know that these 24 server alerts and the switch alert are related to each other because they are connected to each other. So I know the servers are connected to the switch, so the switch is the one that I need to act upon. That is the relationship-based correlation, because we know the physical relationship between the switches and servers. So we need to have similar relationship for application, that is called the logical. But all these are supposed to be made available in a CMDB as per the ITIL. But then today, most of the organizations do not have CMDB, or even if they have CMDB, they will have the list of inventory that is again outdated. Very few, negligible percentage have that relationship. So without that, how can we correlate? That is again, AIOps helps in that. Based on the patterns at which these alerts and events are occurring in the environment, it understands the relationship. We call that as the device logical relationship and problem logical relationship, and use that to correlate the alerts and provide the guidance to the command center team, which one caused the alert and what needs to be done. As I said at the beginning, the reactive will always put the IT team defensive, and they actually keep running, keep chasing the problem and the solution. Whereas when you switch to the predictive mode, you actually control the whole environment. You know what is going to occur. You know what solution to be given, when to be given. That completely provides the positive frame, positive mindset, and that actually lets everyone sleep peacefully. So that is again, AIOps helps. Doing the same task again and again, I think human brain, human time and effort is very precious. We should not be wasting human efforts in doing the same thing. Or rather, if a job can be done by a machine, I think we should let the machine do that. That is one thing. That is the old style. Doing automation after the incident has happened. Now, the industry is moving towards doing an automation to prevent an incident from happening, rather than doing something after it has happened. That is again, AIOps actually helps us a lot. We'll see more of these in the coming slides. And if any of you have any questions, please shoot that out. So what is AIOps? It's artificial intelligence driven IT operations. It has three components. First, it has the machine learning techniques. It actually reads the data that the machine provides. It's any data, the monitoring data that the operating system throws, or the network data that the network devices throws, or the logs that the syslogs and event logs throws. Anything that is generated by the system is machine data. Now, the AIOps knows how to read this machine learning data and understand what is the normal environment and are there any changes in the IT environment. As we all know, IT environment is continuously changing. It's a very dynamic. The users are accessing the application. Application developers keep changing the application. The network bandwidth keeps changing because of dynamic traffic from the users. It's continuously changing. So we need to know what is normal, what is abnormal. The artificial intelligence actually helps to detect the abnormalities after understanding the base. Once you know the abnormalities, you bring in the automation to remediate the abnormality and bring it back to operations to the normal. That's all the AI operations. And all these are happening on its own without the need of a human intervention. Because like a student continuously learns in a class, this AI operations, AI program continuously learns the IT environment, adjusts itself to the baseline, picks out the abnormalities and flag it and then remediate continuously. If it is not able to do any resolution because it has encountered for the first time, it actually flags, and that is when the human needs to come in. Having said that, what are the good tenets of AI ops? First and foremost, we said that it has to continuously learn. So learning has to happen on its own. So we should not have any configuration, or we should have the very least configuration in the IT environment, or rather, the AI ops should be least intrusive into that. And if you actually look at it, AI ops should be agentless. It should not need anything to be installed on the target systems. And don't depend on any of those third-party tools. One example is that CMDB. Do not expect the organization to have CMDB so that you can consume the data and correlate it. If it is there, use it. If it is not there, you should have its own way. The third bullet also tells the same thing. If the data that is provided to the AIOps platform is not good enough or rich enough, both in terms of quality and quantity, then the AIOps platform should be able to generate the required data and make use of that to predict. The ultimate objective is the application should be running uninterrupted, do whatever it takes. If the existing tools do not provide, the platform should be able to do that on its own. Then using the intelligence, using the patterns at which the alerts and events are coming, create the logical relationship. I talked about that, right? Device logical relationship and problem logical relationship. Create that and make use of that. And continuously monitor the user experience and application reliability. User experience is key. All that we are doing is for the end users. It can be the users from the same organization or the external users. The experience that they get actually decides the performance of the IT environment or performance of the business. So there is a need to continuously monitor the user experience. AIOps actually helps in doing that and providing us the right noise and right alerts. And as I said, it should be eco-friendly. It should not be requiring too many changes to be done in the organization. It should be very nimble, least configuration. And beyond that, you should not stop at using AIOps just for the infra monitoring or application monitoring after that application has been installed. In fact, it should start while developing the application. Like, for example, AI can also help in doing the quality assurance of the application. During the testing, it can help us a lot and provide us the insights so that when you roll out the application, that application runs without any issues. These are some of the good principles of AIOps. And when you are actually choosing a tool for your organization, make sure that it caters to that. DAFs, as one such AIOps product, we call that as the zero incident framework. Don't get misled by the word framework. Actually, it has all the tools that are required to perform an artificial intelligence-based IT operations. So these are the 5 key modules that what you're seeing here. First is the agentless auto discovery. As I said at the beginning, this discovery helps the IT organizations to find out what are all the physical and logical assets that are there and how these assets are connected to each other, that relationship. First, it lets us tell what are all running, and it also gives us a view of some of the applications which are never touched by any user. You can actually come to know from this. And then you can take a call on whether to shut down that application, or what if it is used by one or two users, then you can actually find out an alternative rather than keep running it. This discovery helps us in doing that. Second, it provides us the logical connectivity, which app server is talking to which database server, or how many applications are talking to one database server or one cluster of database server. How critical is that? What is the response time between these two when they talk? So it actually helps in telling you for each user when he is accessing each application, for every such transaction, it tells what's the response time he has got between these. Then it baselines and then flags. We'll see more of that in the coming slide. The second portion is the monitoring. Once the discovery module discovers the assets, then monitoring module starts monitoring all those assets. By doing this, we make sure that every device that is up and running in the IT environment is getting covered under the monitoring. So you will not come across a situation where you have got a P1 incident. When you do the analysis, you find, oh, that device is not monitored at all. That is why the P1 incident happened. That will not be the case if you tightly integrate this discovery and monitoring. Now, both the discovery and monitoring starts feeding the data to correlation and noise reduction. So noise reduction is nothing but the duplicate alerts that some of the tools keep sending till the problem gets resolved, are the false positives. That one example I said right last time, the switch going down or the servers also going down, but actually servers are not down. Or one of your file systems suddenly become to read mode from the read write, then you will not be able to write anything into that. So your application may not be performing in a behavior way. There will be too many application alerts. Actually, if you look at it, then the correlation of these applications accessing this particular storage, which has gone into read mode state, you can actually correlate. So those correlations it does, and then flagging it out that that storage volume has become the read is actual cause. That's an actionable alert. That applications are not able to read are non-actionable alert, so you can ignore that. Again, the data collected by the monitoring in terms of performance and utilization are fed into the predictive model. And using the data that it's fed, the predictive model actually provides what's going to happen to the particular application or the servers on which these applications are running, whether it will be running fine or it will get into some bottleneck in terms of performance. This actually helps the IT managers to take action and then take action in advance so that they can prevent that incident. The last module is the automation. Automation is carrying out the resolutions, known resolutions for the known problem. So any problem, when it happens first time, you actually execute that manually and then actually also create a workflow task. So that next time when that problem happens, you execute that automation so that you don't need a person at all. So if you look at it over a period of time, when you implement the ZIF within 4 to 6 weeks, you will get to know that most of the tasks, the detection and the resolution or auto detect and auto correct automatically happens without requiring a human effort. So what you are seeing in this slide is how the alerts that are getting generated by multiple tools from multiple systems are getting actually filtered and provided only the actionable insights to the command center. And we have seen about 90 to 95% of such alerts are getting filtered in the process. Some of them are noise, some of them are false positive, some of them are actually happened as a spike and then came back to normal auto correction. So there are many things that are happening, and it actually analyzes that, triages that, and provides only those that need to be actioned upon. So in our experience, we have seen only 5% of the alerts are actually the one that needs to be actioned upon. So what it actually provides, Saurabh, the next slide, please. So the zero incident framework, for that matter, any AIOps should be able to provide one single pane of action. You call that single pane of action, where you get to see all the alerts from all the tools and the logs from all the systems in one place. You don't need to look into multiple locations. That is one biggest advantage. That itself saves a lot of time for the command center team. Once you get all of them into single screen, single place, then you can actually start correlating them, removing the false positives and removing the noise. That actually helps you reducing the NOC engineers, number of NOC engineers that you need. In our experience, we have actually reduced 50% of the NOC engineers with AIOps and without AIOps. That's the kind of productivity it provides. Now with the correlation, it actually helps us in identifying the root cause very quickly, so the MTTR gets down. Because it helps us to identify the right root cause, because it has the relationship detail, we provide the corrective action, and most of the time, the corrective action that we provide are the real correct ones, and make sure that those incidents do not recur, which means the number of P1 incidents also goes down. So you have a MTTR going down and P1 incidents going down. This again helps us in reducing the people at level 2 and level 3. That again contributes to the overall IT expenses. The most important, the predictable. As I said that it's able to predict what's going to happen. So you take the action and prevent the incidents from happening. This actually contributes to higher availability of the application for the business. This is where I said that everyone in the IT team actually works very confidently and keeps thinking about what to do next. Next slide. So as I said, this zero incident framework, for that matter, any AIOps tool, should not make the existing tools redundant or irrelevant. It should be able to connect to the existing tools and make use of the data. From that point of view, the zero incident framework has been integrated with these many tools. These are only very representative. We have mentioned only those tools which are familiar. And so since the connectors are already built in, we can easily quickly connect and start getting the data. We don't need to spend the time in building these connectors. Even for the new connectors that we have something called the universal connector, using which we can build connector in less than 30 minutes time. You just need to tell which method you are going to connect, API or database read or REST API, and then provide the credentials, then it actually starts receiving the data. So net, if you have a ticketing tool, say ServiceNow or monitoring tool, Nagios or HP OpenView, or storage, NetApp, or networking tools, SolarWinds or Riverbed, all of this, again, database, Oracle, SQL, all of this can be integrated quite easily, and whatever data, alerts, events that these tools generate can all be received by the system, shown in that single view, and then starts correlation, and automation can be kicked in. So we have, next slide, Saurabh. I'll take 2 more minutes. We have 3 different editions. One is the Ziff Business Express, which is a kind of a trial version, but it can also be used to run for smaller volume of devices. It does not provide all the features that I talked about, but it provides the core key monitoring and analyze and predict functionalities like noise reduction, correlation, and prediction it provides. You can actually download it from ziff.ai site, and you can yourself can configure and start using that and see the results. That is one. Ziff Lite is another one. It has the discovery built into that, and brings in the reliability, service reliability as part of that. That is, again, is a smaller version. Ziff Business is the enterprise version, which has all the features and all the modules that I talked about, and it's completely outcome driven. And with that, we can run hundreds of thousands of devices. It's able to receive data from hundreds of thousands of devices. I mean, we have tested that up to 30,000 events or alerts per second it can receive and process. Saurabh, we have only 8 more minutes. Maybe we should leave the floor for the question.
Yeah, so this slide, yeah, go back, please. I think the before and after, Chandra, you might want to just close with that.
Sure. So this is for one of the manufacturing organization that we have implemented. So before Ziff, they were using Computer Associates, Nimsoft, Spectrum, and NFA, and again in NPM, APM, and all. They were not having any prediction. There was no noise reduction, albeit a small amount of noise reduction that it does based on some of the rules that they configure. And it was operating with about 30 plus resources. So once we implemented Ziff, with this 95% noise reduction, actually the case study shows 50%. Initially, we started with 95%. With all the AI related, actually it has moved. We have actually started reducing the alerts at the source itself. With that kind of noise reduction, we were able to actually run the command center with 11 people. So it's more than 50% savings in the command center level 1 team. And on the MTTR, we are able to show down the 35% reduction in MTTR and about, again, same percentage of reduction in the P1 incident. which means that the need of a level 2, level 3 engineers also has gone down significantly.
Excellent. So this really is the moment of truth. And next slide, please. Yeah. So from our perspective, we as a system integrator for GAVS, who is the primary technology provider here, we are and we will be in a position to provide this tool as a service as part of any managed services engagement. And if you have a different managed services provider, that's also not a problem. This tool can also sit either alongside or on top of your existing tool, and we can work out a engagement model how that can be provided to you as a service, right, from CMS IT, from our side. Next slide, please. Yeah, the next one. Next. So all in all, I think from our perspective, we firmly believe that if you want a good return on your investment, if you really want to use the power of technology to drive actionable insights, to drive actionable outcomes, this tool gives you that one version of truth, and in a single pane of glass. काफी लोग, this is a very cliched statement in the IT circles, right? End to end, I will do everything in a single glass of pane. But reality is the reality is that seeing is believing. So while in a webinar construct, we can only show you at a high level what the tool is capable of. But the kind of organizations which are participating in this webinar, each one of you are large, very large enterprises in the government and PSU space. So we would be more than happy to conduct a specific custom demonstration of the tool, where we can walk you through the tool features, functionality, how the GUI looks, and all of that, and you can have specific queries related to your environment. We have also done in a defined time frame. If you give us your call data, if you give us your call log, we will do that analysis on your environment data and come back with a demonstration of the tool as to what we believe, what kind of AI ops can we drive at the beginning itself. Chandra talked about a 50% reduction leading to significant resource reductions. So that kind of model is also possible. As a pure play system integrator, my solution portfolio is currently visible on the slide deck. If any of these areas are of interest, please reach out to our teams, and the CMS IT services team. And for this demonstration of the tool, if there is any interest, we are running a promotion that till 31st of December, we will do this demonstration on your data with all the analytics and analysis done by us, free of cost. So with this, I want to throw the floor open for questions. If there are any observations, any any agreements, stroke disagreements, it's an open forum. There might be things which you don't agree with. We would love to hear a counterpoint. Tom, please open the floor.
Yes. May I know the name of the person?
Myself is Sajid from IOCL, Indian Oil Corporation Limited, Gurgaon.
Yes, Sajid. Yes, we have installed this in 2 customer locations in India. Both are financial institutions, and this has been running fine there.
Okay, thank you.
Sajid, it's a BFSI client.
Yes,
Correct. It's a bit
clear.
काफी rich functionalities hai. Even the APM part of there are many expensive tools customers are deploying for application performance monitoring. Some part of it gets done by the tool, by this tool itself, and once you see the demonstration, we can't cover everything. You will get a real sense of the tool capability. So feel free to reach out to your contact points, and more than happy to set up an interaction. Anybody else? Mukundji, Sanjeev Bhatt Saab, anybody? If not, then thank you so much for your time. We are there on the fence. We hope it was a useful session. We believe that aaj nahi to kal, each progressive organization will be traversing this path. Gone are those days when customers were okay with a average experience. Everybody today is looking for a superlative experience, both on the user experience as well as even what you are tasked to do. Right? Everybody is talking. What's your digital adoption? आप क्या ऐसा कर रहे हैं? What automation are you driving? All analysts are talking about it. Chandra and Kunal touched upon some of these statistics, and this tool can really be a stepping stone to jumpstart your digital transformation journey. So with that, I once again thank you for your participation, and let us know if you have any queries, and thank you for your time. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thanks all. Thanks Saurabh. Thanks Kunal. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chandra, for the wonderful insights. Thanks, Saurabh. Thank you, team. Have a good day. Stay safe.